All right, New World gamers, I hope you enjoyed that spicy Aeternum intro and you get into it. So what's happening this weekend starting on Thursday? There is a Steam free weekend coming for New World. And this is going to be really exciting, great way to bring in some new players. What's going on? It's starting April 7th at 10 a.m., going through April 11th at 10 a.m., and during this whole period up through April 18th, New World will be 40% off. Now, I don't know about you, but me, Leo, and OJ are over there, and we're excited for some new players to hit the game. So before we get started, what am I going to be doing for you today? I'm going to be giving you what I think you should be doing, the things that I think are the most important. If you're a new player, a returning player, or maybe you're a veteran player who's looking to show their friends along the way, and you need some things to be like, hey, this is the game that's for you. You'll get a good sense of how the game works, what you might like about it, all that good stuff. So I'm going to give you all that, and if you stick around through the end, I'll give you a quick leveling tip if you're new to the game, give you some other stuff to get you started off right. So stay tuned for those top tips. So how is this weekend going to work? Well, you'll be loading in. You can start the download. I'm not sure when the download actually starts. It doesn't actually say that here, but I'm assuming April 7th. And you will be on a free server. So you'll be on a brand new server. There won't be any level 60s there. At least that's what I'm gathering from this. It doesn't say it explicitly, but it talks about merging the free servers after the Steam free weekend. So a couple things here. You'll be on a fresh server. There won't be many people. There won't be level 60s running around trying to kill you, do all that stuff. But then once you've purchased the game, anybody from that free weekend server will then be merged into live servers to promote server health and stability. So that's exciting. But again, that's pretty much the gist of it. There's some questions here. I'll link this in the description if you're curious and want to look at it. But this is a sick move from New World. Again, April 7th start time, April 11th end time, and you can get the game for 40% off April 18th. So let's get into some of these things that I think are pretty important. Now, before we do that though, just to remind you, I have socials, look at them down below, and I stream Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 11 a.m. Central Time on Twitch. If you have any questions, if you're a new player, come hit it up, come talk to me. I would love to talk to you about the game, start to get your feet wet in here, and if you don't want to do that, leave me a comment below or drop me a DM in Discord. Now let's get started. All right, so what's thing number one? This may be a little bit obvious to a lot of you, maybe it's not, but this hits both the new player and returning player kind of demographic. So if you're not aware, New World has a bunch of weapons. So there are 3, 6, 9, 13 different weapons in the game, if I can count correctly. And each of them has unique skill trees, interesting things, 6 abilities per weapon where you slot 3 of them. With New World, I think one of the biggest things you can possibly do is dive into every single weapon, right? Me personally, I did not think I was going to be a healer on launch. Nor did I ever think I was going to be a healer. But this is where coming into the game, giving a real good deep dive into each weapon, you know, like level each one to like 5, give it a feel of questing. How does it feel? How's the gameplay feel? And maybe it'll feel even different to you as you've, you know, tried different weapons and you're like, hey, maybe that other one was actually pretty good. The reasons for this. One, you want to find out what your main build really is, what you really enjoy playing. But the greatest thing is that you can play every single weapon in the game and switch your entire build on a moment's notice. So as a new player, it's going to be really nice to level up the weapons you're interested in playing, but also just to get that general feel of, okay, how does the gameplay kind of flow? Where is this role really fitting into what I want to do with my character? Now, I'm kind of saying this also to you returning players, because I will say this, and I will stand by this with my heart on my sleeve, New World gameplay is the best it has ever been since ever, right? Gameplay feels better, there's less desync, less lag, I've barely experienced it, and the weapons feel great. Everything feels really great and fluid as far as combat goes, and so that's why I'm really trying to say, give all of the weapons a shot. Play with the abilities you find interesting, because you may fall in love with something completely different, or you may fall back in love with something you've tried before, because it just feels 1,000 times better compared to, you know, betas and launch, right? I really do feel like the combat is kind of completely new. completely fresh, really nice to play, and actually fun, especially as you get to the end game, as you experience dungeons, open world content. So for you who are leveling, just whatever weapon you pick up sounds cool, give it a shot for a little while. It's free up to level 20 to respec something, right? Level 20, I think, to respec. And so give that a shot. You want to just jump on a spear, throw all your points in dex. You're like, hey, this great X looks great. Respec, throw it all in the strength. Give it a shot. If you want to try life stuff, go respec to focus. But just give the weapons a chance and feel the new combat system. All right, what's the second thing I would tell you to be doing with your time during this free weekend? It is turning PvP mode on. If you don't know how to do that, go to any city or any way shrine teleporting thing and hit U. You will then say PvP enabled. What are the bonuses you get from this? You get XP, you get loot luck, and you get harvesting luck. So it's nice to run around while you're leveling with, get some extra XP, and maybe get some rare items. But the big reason why I'm suggesting doing this for you new players is that you will get to experience the game's PvP. So you obviously won't hit 60 in these 5 days. It's possible, but I doubt it as a new player. But you won't really get to experience wars or OPR. But the benefit to doing this is you'd be like, okay, I'm going to get killed by level 60. Well, you should be on a fresh server with a lot of other new players. Meaning you should have people in your level range, and you can take on people a couple levels higher, a couple levels lower, all that stuff. There's some scaling there. And you can actually open world PvP of other individuals who are around your level. You can experience it, what it's like, what it was like on day one, and it's another great way to get XP and weapon skill XP, because whenever you kill somebody, depending on how long they've been flagged and how long alive, you will get a bonus that corresponds and scales with that value. So again, I would turn it on just so that you can actually PvP with other people, experience it, see what's going on, and really see what the end game is all about, because the PvP, in my opinion, is one of the greatest parts of New World. So turn it on, see what it's like with all those people running around. All right, so how else should you be spending your time? Number 3, what would I say? Follow the main story quest until you get to the Amarine Expedition. All right, now this is going to be your first dungeon of the game, so you can kind of get a feel for what the dungeons are going to look like, how they're going to feel, and then even for you returning players, how the combat has changed, how it feels better, how it's less clunky and less chunky, and there's less this kind of stuff where you just can't play the game, and it was really frustrating, but it feels so much better. And so for you new players, you're going to get to test out some weapons, you're going to get to see kind of mechanics that they've put into the game. Now, it is obviously easier, but you're just going to get a feel for what is the PvE starting to look like, how do things kind of function there. So you'll be doing it, it's in Windsward in the north, there's a fast travel over here, there's a quest line that'll take you here, nice little puppy, so you can put some stuff in your house. But Amarine is a good point where if you're, how are you feeling about the game? Just getting to that point in leveling and playing enough and starting to get a feel for it, but then you're starting to get into some of the content and the meat and bones of the game. So I think Amarine's a really good spot if you're on the fence, just play to that point, get through it, and then give yourself that initial, do I think it's good? Do I think I should invest more time in it? Should I buy it? That kind of stuff. Ultimately, you have those 5 days, but I think this is something I did day one. It's very possible you could get a little sweaty. It'll take you some time. But regardless, I think this is probably the best spot and one of the most definitive points of your free trial process. So Amarine, definitely give it a shot. Hopefully you enjoy it. All right, next thing, people. If you feel like after the Amarine expedition, or you're at the point in the game where you're ready to invest some more time, you want to start getting a little bit ahead, I would highly suggest digging into some of the trade skills, going around and gathering a bunch of stuff, testing out the crafting systems, because ultimately I think the crafting systems are really interesting. I think they're great. I think they're fun. I like the roll system. It's a great hit of serotonin, and there's a lot to offer with trade skills. It's not personally like my thing that I love to do, but for a lot of people, like, this is their game. You can play the economy, you can go around gathering all these things, testing things out, rolling items, getting furniture, all kinds of stuff. So if you dig into these trade skills, there's a lot to do, and you can see that I am not the best at it. But some things that you could also do for those who are trying to get a step up, or maybe you are a returning player, is you can really focus on, okay, you are going to be on a lower pop server with a lot of opportunity for, harvesting things, or you can make some extra gold. So what would I say during this leveling process? Well, just pretty much harvest anything you see, right? That's always a plus. But going around and killing things like turkeys and rabbits, every single one that you see, because they can drop some crazy stuff that is selling for outrageous prices. Like, for instance, if I get to my food here, I have an egg. Eggs are insanely priced right now. Sumptuous rabbits that drop up of rabbits, those are a crazy high price. Everything especially lower level materials, are going to be a bit higher priced on some of the more popular servers because there's just less people doing that stuff. So when you merge into a server, you're going to have all these materials, all these things you've been getting when you're leveling, even just the general leveling process, not even going into trade skills. There's going to be a lot of room to play the market here. So like here, anytime you see like a turkey pop up, eventually when you have a high enough skinning, it'll just show. So I'm hunting him down. I can see him up top. I'm looking for him. He's somewhere over here in the general vicinity. If I can find him, maybe one day, still hunting, right? You can just hunt him like this. One day, oh, and there's a dead body that's and people leave these because they don't care, right? I'm sorry that took forever. But people leave them, they don't care. You skin it, you get an egg or something, boom, free gold in your pocket. You can do that the whole time. But take advantage, enjoy the trade skill system. I think it is a great system that a lot of people will come to enjoy and might even be your main reason as to playing New World. And we're just going to go right into the last thing. I don't really have anything to like walk around and show you here. But when you're playing New World, it honestly is tough to be a solo game. So here's what I'm going to say. Make friends, join a company. Like if I wasn't playing with these boys and meeting these people, and if I wasn't, kind of interacting with the community, having a chat with people, getting to know people, and making friends, the game would be, it would be kind of dead to me in a sense. In a sense. I love it. It's way better with friends. That's the point of an MMORPG. Yes, you can play it solo and it's not going to be dead to you. I'm just saying for me personally, I love playing games with other people. And why is it good to have other people, have companies? The war system is a huge thing. Start making relationships. You get pulled into wars. You can make friends, run expeditions. You have keys, teams for mutators. Getting into a company is the greatest thing you can do. Building a community, there's so many benefits to it. You can craft each other gear, you can coordinate, you can set up chess runs together, you can PvP together. There's all kinds of good stuff that you can be doing, and I would highly, highly, highly suggest making sure that when you're playing with new players, either, make your own company with them or find a company together and make sure that you're making friends to get the most out of the New World experience. All right, gamers, and here's what I'm going to do at the end for you. I'm going to tell you all what I believe to be my most efficient leveling experience, just all my tips to give you the most efficient. Maybe you missed the double XP weekend from last weekend because you're just getting into the game now. How can you level the fastest and the most efficiently? So this is what I do. So for starters, first tip, any of these blue books you see, you're going to see them in towns, you're going to see them out in the world, you're going to see them in expeditions. I've already read it, but right now I just have an option to hit F and read it. There's lore in there if you're interested, but if you walk up to these and you hit T, it will automatically go into your journal and you don't have to read it and it will just give you free XP, right? So anytime you see them, if you're a person who just tends to ignore lore, just walk past these, hit T, and you'll just go like that, you'll get free XP. You can also go around and discover anything like these, any of these points, those are going to give you extra XP. If you're close to a little question mark, just run over to it really fast. It's not gonna hurt, so do that. And then what is my actual cycle for when I'm leveling? So here is what I do. I stick to the main story quests, but every time I'm back in town, I'm grabbing faction quests and I'm grabbing town boards. So faction quests, if you aren't familiar, you just go to any of your corresponding faction leaders. My other one somewhere, I can't even find yellow because I'm blind here. There it is. And they will have a bunch of town board quests to do. This is going to be trade skills, killing things. The one thing I will say is avoid the exploration ones, but only if they aren't part of your route. Now, what do I mean by that? So let's say you've gone to a town, you picked up your main story, you picked up all the side quests available, you picked up all of your faction quests, and then you pick up the town boards. Zoom out, see, okay, what's near my main stories and what's near my side stories. Do everything that you can, do a loop, and then death warp yourself, okay? Just death warp yourself, die in water, die to something, and then just teleport back to town. Rinse and repeat. So you go back, and then do all your faction quests again, grab them, pick them up. If something isn't close, like faction quest-wise, just don't do it. Just keep going, and then you can come back to town, drop them all, and reset them. The only other thing as far as town boards go, every once in a while, once you come back to town, I teleport to all the other towns because all town boards are on a 30-minute cooldown timer, and just do a bunch of town boards, do as many as you can, pick up other ones that you might think you can get done in certain places, especially with all the Azoth changes. It's very cheap to fast travel and just check everything and constantly do all the available town boards. So that is my pro level efficiency tip for you. So if you enjoyed this video, please feel free to do that weird YouTube stuff. Like, comment, subscribe, tell everybody you know. I'd really appreciate it. And as always, if you want to follow the socials, hit them down below. I stream Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 11 a.m. Central Time on Twitch. And again, if you have any questions about the game, feel free to reach out to me, connect with me, jump in the Twitch, ask questions as much as you want. And you can send me a Discord DM. That's where I'm the most responsive. Or feel free to leave a comment down below. But as always, thank you all for watching. Thank you all for listening. And thank you to every single one of you beautiful people for being you, If you're new to New World, welcome. I hope you enjoy the experience. If you're coming back, welcome back. I hope you also enjoy the experience. But as always, peace. Thank you for everything.